the ruler of Constantinople on Italian Renaissance medals, John VII Palaeologus, and Mehmed the Conqueror in the European visual culture.
Thank you very much. In the 15th century, when the Renaissance was developing as a broader cultural phenomenon, above all in Italy and especially in art, a Western approach to the East was sought. The context in particular between the various little states of Italy and Constantinople, seat of the Byzantine Empire, were continuous, intensified, and multidimensional. However, in 1453, the Byzantine Empire was overthrown by the Ottomans, at which point the ruler of Constantinople ceased to be the Byzantine emperor and became the Ottoman Sultan. The historic figures who personified these two lords of Constantinople in the eyes of the West were John VIII Palaeologus and Mehmed II, called the Conqueror. Their official depiction on Italian medals of the Renaissance was to play a decisive role in establishing, standardizing, and disseminating their iconography. John VIII Palaeologus, the second last Byzantine emperor, became known directly to the Italian public because he spent almost 2 years in Italy between February 1438 and October 1439, discussing the union of the Eastern Orthodox and Western Roman Catholic churches. He had played a leading role in organizing the Ecumenical Council of Ferrara-Florence in an effort to secure the help of the West in confronting Ottoman expansionism. Despite the fact that his effort failed, the person of John Palaeologus attracted the intense interest of Westerners, including artists. In the relief scenes from the council with which Filarete decorated the main doorway of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, Emperor John Palaeologus stands out, as he does here, for example, at the council meeting in Florence, where he is depicted full length on the left edge of the composition. But the portrayal that was to establish him, not only as a historic personality, but also as the absolutely authenticated model of a Byzantine emperor and leader general, was the bronze medal created by Pisanello during the council. This is the earliest example of Renaissance medals bearing a portrait, and was to play a decisive role in disseminating the figure of John Palaeologus in the iconography of the Italian Renaissance over time. Pisanello was certainly present at the council, because we know he was in Ferrara in 1438 and Florence in 1339, when he had the opportunity to observe the emperor in person and to depict him realistically. In this drawing, among the other Byzantine figures, including prelates, he rapidly sketched Emperor John on horseback, whom he could obviously see at that moment from a distance and from behind, but nonetheless distinctly. The utility of this drawing is also proved by the accompanying caption above left, in which the imperial attire is described in detail. In another drawing, Pisanello created a portrait of John in absolute profile, facing left. Here, the artist records his physical features with precision and clarity, the strong lines of his profile, his stern and somewhat distant glance, his hair that fell in little ringlets, his well-groomed beard with its characteristic pointed tip, sphinopogon in Greek, and his stately hat, skiadion in Greek, with its high cone and protecting visor, which so impressed the Italians that it became identified specifically as Greek. His clothing is depicted in rough lines. Interest here is focused on the face, which radiates such expressive power that it was justifiably perceived as a complete portrait with independent aesthetic value and not just a preliminary sketch. In any event, these two, like the previous sketch of the emperor on horseback, was utilized by Pisanello in conceiving his medal of the Byzantine emperor. On the medal, his features are rendered in a more standardized way than in the drawing to the right, the basic difference being the reversal of his stance. I believe that the drawing preceded the medal. On the medal, the official nature of the pose is increased by the intense stylization of his features, so that partial volumes, such as his hair or beard, are stylized without losing any clarity of detail on his anatomy or dress. His clothing is rendered in greater detail on the medal than in the sketch. The solid cold material of which the medal is made also contributed to the official role of this work, which aimed to immortalize the Byzantine monarch and to establish his place in history. This is declared on the obverse by the inscription declaring the imperial title, in Greek, John Palaeologus, King and Emperor of the Romans. On the reverse, John is depicted in his favorite pose as a mountain hunter against the background of a rocky landscape. The sciadio, the strange hat worn by John VIII on the medal, an essential feature of the aristocratic dress of the Byzantines in general, and not just the emperor, gives the impression more of a helmet or crown, especially in the version to the right, where the top is decorated. Pisanello's medal of the Byzantine emperor was to establish his appearance, his personal facial features, and the exotic elements of his apparel, with all the distinctive attributes of his position. Through this medal and its circulation in multiple copies, John Palaiologos was to become the absolute model of Byzantine emperor, but also more broadly as a leader from the East who, in addition, embodied references to ancient Greece and was disseminated in Renaissance art, especially in Italy, until the early 16th century. This figure of the Byzantine monarch, with his aristocratic bearing and luxurious exotic appearance, was to leave its mark in the visual memory of Westerners through a series of Italian Renaissance works, in which John Palaiologos' figure would be lent to various historic persons and roles. In the iconography of the Byzantine Lord of Constantinople in art, and more broadly in the visual culture of the Renaissance, Pisanello's medal provided a model and an iconic figure. In a number of works created up to the mid-15th century, the figure of Palaiologos was copied from the Pisanello's medal, as it was in this wall painting by Giovanni Badile in the Guattieri Chapel in Verona, in what we could call a decorative way, since there is essentially no specific iconographical reason for his presence, and thus he slipped into the scene as a typologically separate figure. In the second half of the 15th century, the figure of John Palaiologos, based on the medal by Pisanello, appeared in a number of special iconographic themes in roles that more or less justify his multiple metamorphoses. Imperial prestige was mobilized here to lend additional credibility to the miraculous power of Saint Bernardine, who restored life to Nicola, the son of Lorenzo da Prato. Bernardine of Siena, who died in 1444 and was canonized in 1450, was present at the Ecumenical Council, so that the misdated appearance of the Byzantine emperor at the miracle performed by the saint may be indirectly justified. The exemplary figure of Palaiologos, through Pisanello's medal always, was also used for portraits of illustrious men of Greek antiquity. In this way, the features of the Byzantine emperor were borrowed by illustrators of manuscripts, for example, here to depict the figure of Aristotle the philosopher, as well as for political leaders such as Theseus and Lysander. The similarity to Pisanello's medal is obvious. If John Palaiologos can represent the mythical Theseus, king of the ancient Greeks, it would be considered even more natural for him to replace previous Byzantine emperors iconographically. On a monumental mural in Arezzo, Piero della Francesca portrayed Constantine the Great in his victory against Maxentius, with features reminiscent of the formality of John Palaiologos. Although the sciadio is depicted here in a simplified form, the figure of the emperor reflects the typical profile view of Pisanello's medal. However, Piero della Francesca was also present in Florence in 1439, in which case his version of the Byzantine emperor shown here may be based on reality and unrelated to Pisanello's medal. The medal of Palaiologos was certainly copied here by the illustrator of the verse composition La Spagna in Rima, which narrates the wars of Emperor Charlemagne in Spain against Islam. This visual conversation between the figure of Charlemagne on the left with the Palaiologan figure on the right, not necessarily John VIII himself, but symbolic of the Byzantine emperor, endeavors to declare the immediate need to begin a new war against Islam in order to liberate Byzantium. That is, it has clear crusading implications, as perhaps did the previous wall painting of Piero della Francesca as well. Once again, the Pisanello medal provides emblematic features to depict the idealized figure of the Byzantine leader on the right. Here, the Palaiologan figure, as representing the Eastern Imperium, converses with Pope Nicholas V, who ordered the present translation of Polybius. At the council in Florence, John Palaiologos had spoken to the then young Tommaso Parentuccelli, who played a leading role in the council proceedings. Here, however, we're dealing with an unicum since Pope Nicholas V at the left, who was beardless, is nevertheless represented with the typical pointed beard of the Byzantine emperor. So the Pope is facing the ruler of a neighboring country, the leader of Eastern Christianity, and has taken on a distinctive feature and worldly power of his interlocutor. The iconography that propagandizes the possibility of a crusade in favor of Byzantium after the fall of Constantinople also made use of Pisanello's Paleologan original, albeit in a negative role. In the famous flagellation by Pier della Francesca, Paleologus appears in the background as Pontius Pilatus. In this way, his apathetic stance toward Christian suffering is attributed metaphorically to the Paleologals in general, i.e., that they neglected their Christian subjects and left them unprotected. This identification of the Byzantine leader with Pontius Pilatus also traveled outside Italy, as can be seen in a number of works by Hans Holbein the Elder. In various scenes, the features of Pontius Pilatus have been borrowed from the Paleologus medal. Thus, John VIII, who initiated the union of the churches, is denounced here, artistically, for not supporting this union after his return to Constantinople, thereby cancelling in practice the alliance between the Eastern and Western Imperium in order to stop the Ottomans. If the union of the churches, agreed at the Council in 1439, had imposed the motif of the Byzantine emperor with the features of John Paleologus in the Western visual culture, the fall of Constantinople in 1453, in turn, imposed the figure of Mehmed the Conqueror. A follower of Pisanello has given us one of the earliest known medals of Sultan Mehmed, on which the complimentary Latin inscription refers to him as Great and Admired Sultan Mehmed Bey. However, the morphological details on the obverse, both the portrait features and the head covering, reveal that the artist did not know what the subject portrayed really looked like. On the reverse, a naked male figure holding a victory torch and resting on the rock alludes to a Roman statue representing Bacchus and refers to Alexander the Great, both of whom were conquerors of India. Consequently, this emblematic representation was designed to associate Mehmed the Conqueror with the greatest conqueror in history, Alexander the Great, who had been studied by the Ottoman Sultan as a role model. When Sultan Mehmed II asked Ferrando I, King of Naples, to provide him with an artist, the king sent Constanzo di Moisis to Constantinople. The latter created the medal of the elderly Mehmed in an official stance and with Latin inscriptions, referring on the obverse to the title of Ottoman Sultan Mehmed, Emperor of the Turks, and on the reverse to his military capabilities as follows. This man, the thunderbolt of war, has laid low people and cities. When Mehmed died in 1481, Constanzo di Moisis created a new commemorative version of his medal with the identical rendering of the figure, but with different inscriptions. Here he is referred to on the obverse as Sultan Mehmed, descendant of Osman, Emperor of Byzantium. On the reverse, reference is made to the equestrian image of Mehmed on campaign, who is designated Emperor of Asia and Greece. In this way, on one side, the Osman dynasty is evoked, and on the other, its victory over the former Byzantine Empire. The medal created for Sultan Mehmed by Bertoldo di Giovanni in Florence, with the blessing of Lorenzo de' Medici, describes him in the inscription of the obverse as Mehmed, Emperor of Asia and Trebizond and Great Greece. The reverse presents a complex propagandistic picture of his power, with a scene of victory all'antica and with personifications of the defeated countries of Greece, Trebizond, and Asia. Gentile Bellini created the medal of Mehmed probably after returning from Constantinople in 1481, where the artist had gone to paint the Sultan's portrait. The plain reverse with the triple crown is consistent with the stern pose of Mehmed on the obverse, which bears the inscription, Great Sultan Mehmed, Emperor. It is obvious by comparison that the official medals of the Lords of Constantinople, although with a difference of some 40 years, are governed by the same artistic desiderata, as they are charged with immortalizing the features of the persons depicted and proclaiming their greatness. Both John Paleologus and Mehmed the Conqueror are presented realistically on the obverse, in a stern profile pose, with all their attributes, while on the reverse they are on horseback in a pose that alludes to statues of ancient emperors. The accompanying inscriptions confirm their title rhetorically. The similar artistic approach to these two rulers of Constantinople in Western European art did not stop at portraits on their medals, but extended to their perception as well. It appears that for Italian artists of the Renaissance, a representation of the Byzantine Emperor and the Ottoman Sultan were in many respects almost identical. On a print from a Florentine studio, which has been preserved also in a tinted copy at the right, the Ottoman lord is called the Great Turk, i.e. the Ottoman conqueror, who at that time still had ambitions to expand westward and onto the Italian peninsula. This is an allegorical rather than a realistic portrait of Mehmed II under the title Great Turk. He is presented as a ferocious Easterner with fierce features and analogous decoration. This particular iconography of the Great Turk was disseminated broadly through its reproduction on objects of everyday use, such as vases and plates. In the version of the Great Turk on the storage vessel of the same period, in the center, it is obvious that this motif is iconographically related to the Paleologan medal. Its engraved version is to some degree a modified rhetoric of John Paleologus, with stronger stylization of his facial features and an analogous rendering of supplementary details. There are in fact instances in which the iconography of the Byzantine Emperor and the Ottoman Sultan are absolutely and deliberately identical. The work chronicled by the German scholar Hartmann Schedel presents the portrait of Mehmed, Emperor of the Turks. It is obvious that in this illustrated incunabulum, the image of Mehmed the Conqueror, bearing the features of John Paleologus, was based on the Pisanello medal. A depiction of Mehmed in this a depiction of Mehmed is included also in the Chronicle of the Ottoman Conquest of Constantinople by Archbishop Leonard of Chios in a publication dating as late as 1544. Here, Pisanello's version of Paleologus was slightly altered, especially in rendering the Sciadio. To conclude, this merger and identification of the two portraits, that of the Byzantine Emperor with the characteristic features of John Paleologus and that of the Ottoman Sultan in the figure of Mehmed the Conqueror, is related to the West's dealings with Constantinople and its empire. Whether as Byzantine rule up to 1453 or as Ottoman rule thereafter, its lord is an Eastern leader with an exotic appearance and exaggerated features. Moreover, the West initially attributed to Mehmed the Conqueror the title of Emperor, recognizing in his person the heir to the Byzantine, therefore East Roman Empire, in accordance with the familiar historiographical pattern of translatio imperii. Consequently, the illustrating merging of the two is justified. In this, a decisive role was played by the illustrations of the Byzantine John and the Ottoman Mehmed on the Renaissance medals we have been watching. Their painted portraits here also confirms this. Gentile Bellini and his studio depicting the rulers of Constantinople based on their official image as established and promulgated by their medals. In the cases of both the Byzantine Emperor and the Ottoman Sultan, they were products of the same visual culture and the intercultural contacts of the West, especially those of Italy with the East. The Italian Renaissance medals of John VIII Paleologus and Mehmed II, the so-called Conqueror, are exemplary instances of the critical role of medals in art and in the broader visual culture of the Renaissance. Thank you very much for your attention.